Hong Kong protesters, how is it going on the front lines? First rule of being frontline protester. You never identify yourself a frontline protester, even on internet. Edit. This is a serious advice for activists around the world, not just a reference to Fight Club. Please don't underestimate how far a gov would go to keep their power, even if you live in a democratic country. Edit 2. And I don't mean Op is asking a bad question. I know this is a genuine question about the current situation of HK. I just want to remind those who have been on the front line, not to expose themselves while explaining the situation. Edit 3. No, this comment doesn't say or imply I am a frontline protester. Kerr here, but not frontline protester. Public gatherings have most subsided as most organizers don't want to risk further contagion. There are still people who come out and block the roads on monthly anniversaries of 721, 831 and the death of the college student protester. I think that's 1113. The prosecution from the government hasn't stopped. Just yesterday a councilwoman was arrested with some charge that was not used since 1967. RTHK, which produces documentaries and satire show, are under attack from the pro-Beijing camps. The police beat suspects until they are too injured to attend their court hearings. But on some fronts the fight is still continuing. Volunteers still put up poster art on walls even though the risks of just doing that has been greater and greater. There are people planning the strategy to LegCo, Legislative Council, election that will take place near the end of 2020. You see pictures of masked protesters holding the Free HK Revolution Now flag around Hong Kong to remind people not to forget about the cause and the people who made sacrifices for it. Groups are still trying to get other countries to pass legislations to support our fight for freedom and autonomy. Some individuals are trying to sue the police in a civil suit. Also, some pro-Beijing LegCo members are pushing to pass Article 23, a national security law which will effectively end freedom of speech and assembly. There has been a lot of talk about to push this back, so I guess we will see. I feel like everyone are realizing, even though the pitch battles with fire and bricks are what draw the headlines, but we are in for a long fight. Preserving our culture, our language and our values in the long run is as important as anything else. I know the odds are stacked against us and all anyone can talk about is how powerful the CCP is, but we are not giving up yet. Free Hong Kong. 5 demands, not one less. Edit. Thanks for the gold and awards, kind strangers. If you are interested in helping the Hong Kong protesters, there are a lot of resources and discussions over at Hong Kong. There are some easy things you can do, like following high-profile protesters on Twitter and YouTube. Or supporting legislations to ban exports to HK Police if you live in the US or Europe. We appreciate all your support and encouragements. Wherever you are, please stay safe. And stay healthy. Good morning. Protests have largely stopped because of COVID-19. Some members of the pro-Beijing party are trying to push Article 23 amongst all the paranoia and attention focused on the pandemic. Link here. Link. Aside from that, police resentment still lingers. The people haven't forgotten. There are still blatant incidents of police misconduct taking place against journalists. Link. The double whammy of protests into the coronavirus has hit retailers and businesses especially hard. A drive to the hospital the other day has just rows of shops that have closed down or are close to closing down. I suspect things will pick up again after the epidemic dies down. We know that economic downturns are not good for civil obedience. Our country, from a social perspective, is fucked.